Hey guys, welcome to another video. It's just about 12:30 in the morning. I came out. I typically wait until the Bolt TV, which you can see here. It's currently plugged in. I know you can't see the plug. I'm standing under a light pole to shoot this, so forgive me for the poor light quality. But I typically come out here at night right before I'm ready to go to bed to unplug the car, and typically I make sure that it's facing the house. So in other words, that the hood is closest to the house and the trunk is out towards the street. You can see my wife's car's right here, but our trash cans in the street is right here. So I actually parked it correctly today after we came back from our, family day out. We took about a 80-mile drive both ways, 40 miles there, 40 miles back. So I got the car down to about, I want to say 65 miles remaining. So a little bit below the 70-mile threshold. So I did plug it in after we got home, and it's actually telling me, if I walk over to it. And here's a trick, a pro tip, if you will, that if you don't have your key fob in your pocket, which I don't, and you press the door button to unlock it, the screen actually lights up to tell you all of your charge information, so you can actually look through the window and see where you're at. So that's kind of cool. It says that my charge will be complete by 1 a.m. I'm actually going to unplug it a little bit before that. But the car is actually doing really well. I've noticed that over the last, let me back up, sorry, my face got out of the light. I noticed over the last week that it's actually been a little bit cooler in Los Angeles. It's been breezy. It's actually been a wonderful week with regards to the temps being in the 80s instead of the hundreds or 110s. And I've noticed at night that the cooling system doesn't crank up as much. Typically when it's plugged in and charging, if it's really hot at night, like if it's in the 80s right now, like in the middle of the night, this baby will sound like a percolator, to say the least. But right now it's silent, and it's kind of it's neat for me because I was just walking the dog, and I walked through the driveway and I noticed that it was really quiet. So I'm going to unhook this just for the night. And, I keep saying that I will stand by my Bolt no matter what. And I am. I believe wholeheartedly that GM and LG will at some point release, new battery modules for these cars. And I'm sure that life will go back to normal with them. But, I'm still doing my best to follow the instructions, the rules, and whatever guidelines, are currently out there. Some of them are not realistic, like 50 feet parking away from any structure. If I park 50 feet away from that, I'm parking on the other side of my street. And at that point, I have to contend with those people's houses. Even if I park where my trash cans are, there's a Mercedes parked right behind my trash cans. Or if you turn around behind me, this is a brand new Kia sedan that belongs to my neighbor's daughter. So it is what it is, and everybody around me knows about the recall. I've made sure to let them know that this is a car that's under recall and here's what the problems are, and I've made sure to educate them that even though I don't know for sure, nobody knows for sure if this car is affected. The whole moral of the story is keep an eye out. If you see something, if you smell something, if smoke starts pouring out the bottom of this thing or whatever, make a big deal about it. But until that happens, we have to live our lives, right? So take it for what it is. it's hard for me to fully explain how I feel about this whole situation because of the fact that I am torn about it. I have looked into the buyback options. I started looking at other EVs just, just because I can. Don't get me wrong. I love this car. Out of the dozens of cars that I've owned in the last, I guess, 55% of my life, this is absolutely the best car I've had. And I've had Lexus, I've had Mazda, I've had Toyotas, I've had Mitsubishis, I've had Jettas, diesel Jettas. Like, I can't quite explain what this car means to me because I'm so torn between the situation at hand and the car itself. Look at it this way. My wife, whom I've been married to for over a decade, we're coming up on our 11th anniversary. This is the only car that she says she can sit comfortably in and fits comfortably in. Like, the seats are designed with her size and the way she sits in mind. Also, my kid loves it. My son was the driving force in buying this car. The whole conversation about, hey, Daddy, why are you driving a car that pollutes? Why can't you drive a car that doesn't pollute? That whole situation. That's where this car came from. That's why I have such an emotional attachment to this car, and it's really hard for me to say I'm going to get rid of it because a mistake was made. A mistake was made, and yes, people have lost property. Quite a few Bolt EVs have, burned to the ground and caused property damage and, inconvenienced people's lives and scared the hell out of the rest of the world because now, there are EVs that are lighting up in the middle of the night. What do you do? Well, I can tell you what I'm going to do, and that is to continue being careful with this, continue staying up late at night to wait until my car is charged so that way I'm ready for the next day until GM and LG Chem fix the problem. Because otherwise, we're just going to destroy this world even more than it already is. Burning gasoline, burning fossil fuels is the ultimate demise of our planet. Will cause it. I believe that, and I think at some point we just have to all kind of get together and understand that these cars are effectively the future, one way or another. This line of cars is pushing its 5th model year. It's understandable that there's going to be problems, and it's understandable that, there's going to be some fan hitters. This happens to be a fan hitter, this situation. But you know what? The car's still great. The recall doesn't change the way I feel about the car, but I am going to do my best to follow the recommendations. I'm going to go over here right now. You're going to watch me unplug it. In fact, let's go. I know it's dark as I don't know what, and it doesn't help that my car's black, but here's the nozzle. I close that. Here's my EVSE. And we're going to plug it into its holder on my garage door here. And now the car is unhooked. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back around to the front. I took the long way. I'm going to press the button on the door. And I'm going to see that it doesn't tell me anything. Because I forgot that the button trick only works when the EVSE is plugged in. But anyway, there it is. I'm trying to get some light. there it is. Pulled into my driveway. So, take it for what it's worth. Like I said, I'm not an almighty oracle, and I can't tell you if this car doesn't have an issue brewing with it. But for right now, it's my only car. You know, I mean, we have my wife's RAV4 right here, but honestly, I don't even feel comfortable riding in... I'm not comfortable riding in her car anymore. I took my wife's parents, my in-laws, to the airport in the RAV4, just because of the luggage situation and the trunk not being massive in the Bolt EV. They had a lot of stuff, so we took that car. And as I'm driving it, it's a totally different world for me now. I've gotten used to the driving in L, and to have to actually press the brake, and to know that the steering wheel does not have a regen on demand paddle. It's a big thing. You know, it's a different world, but it is what it is, you know, and hopefully this car will survive. It is my favorite car. I baby it, I take care of it, I clean it, you know, I wash it every week or so. You know, it crossed 11,000 miles yesterday, so I'm hoping that, you know, this can be an issue that gets resolved relatively soon. So anyway, I will catch you guys in the next one. In the meantime, thanks for listening to me babble and talk about my Bolt and my experience and whatnot, but I appreciate you guys. So to all, a good night.